சார் உள்ள வந்துட்டான். 10:30 கரெக்டாக 10:25 ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அவங்க வந்துட்டாங்க. அதெல்லாம் நான் அங்கே உட்காந்து பேசிக்கிறேன் சார். என்ன சட்டம் கொடுத்தாலும் நீங்கள் இந்த லிங்க் இருக்கு சார், மொபைல் ஆன் பண்ணிடுங்க. அதை அதில் கிளிக் பண்ணி விட யூடியூப்பில் கிளிக் பண்ணுங்க சார். இது வந்து யூடியூப் சார். ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு அவங்களுக்கு கிளியரா பேசுறது.
Dear participants, please unmute your videos. All are mute your videos, please. குட் மார்னிங், சொல்லுங்கள். ஆமாங்க, முடிஞ்சிருச்சுங்க. நீங்கள் ஸ்டார்டிங்லேயே பண்ணியிருக்கணுங்க. வாட்ஸ்அப்பில் இந்த நம்பருக்கு ஒரு மெசேஜ் அனுப்புங்க. ம்.
Good morning, ma'am.
நீங்கள் பேசுவீங்க.
ரிஜிஸ்டர்
இது வாங்கியா ரேஷா சார், குட் மார்னிங். ஏம்மா அவர் மீட்டில் இருக்காரா? அவர் மீட்டில் இருக்காரு நினைக்கிறேன். குட் மார்னிங், குட் மார்னிங் டு ஆல். குட் மார்னிங் டு ஆல். குட் மார்னிங். வணக்கம் வணக்கம் சரவணன். வணக்கங்க சரவணன்.
சார், இதில் ஏதாவது காட்டிக்கலாமா சார்?
ஏதா ரேஷா லைனில் இருக்காரு.
சார் சிஸ்டம்
இது யார் இது?
உங்கள்கிட்டே இருக்கட்டும் சார். சிஸ்டம் நான் என் ஃபோனில் இருந்து பேசுகிறேன்.
ஆ
அதுலேயும் அட்மிட் கொடுத்துட்டேன்.
ரேஷா சார், குட் மார்னிங். குட் மார்னிங். ஏமா சார் வந்துட்டாரா வி சார் வி சார் வி சார் சரி
நீங்கள் பேசுகிறது அவங்களை கேட்கலையா சார்?
ஓகே சார் ரீஷாது பேசிட்டேன் வி சார் வந்துட்டாருனாக்கா ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம் மணி ஆச்சு.
ஆமாம் சார் வரல
எவ்வளோ பேர் இருக்காங்க இப்போ?
80 மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் வந்திருக்காங்க சார்.
ஹலோ
80 மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் இப்போ தான் வந்துட்டுருக்காங்க சார்.
சரி.
10:30 தான் சார் நம்ம போட்டிருக்கோம் டைம். இப்போ தான் ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லியிருக்கோம் சார்.
சரி
கணேசன் சார் வந்துட்டாங்க சார்.
கணேஷ் சார் குட் மார்னிங். குட் மார்னிங். ஆடிபிள் கணேஷ் சார் ஆடிபிள் வாய்ஸ் இஸ் ஆடிபிள் கேட்குது ஆடிபிள். கணேஷ் சார் வாய்ஸ் இஸ் ஆடிபிள் சார்.
இப்போ சொன்னதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் ஜாயின் பண்ணுறது மறந்துட்டான்றாரு.
யார்?
கணேசன் சார்.
இதுலேயே போட்டு விடலாங்களா?
இதில்
இந்த சிஸ்டத்தில்
இந்த சிஸ்டத்தில் அந்த ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் இல்லை.
குட் மார்னிங். இதில் கேமரா இருக்காது.
அதான் கேமரா கிடையாது.
சரி.
இது இப்போ முதல்ல வாங்கின சிஸ்டம்.
சார்
சார் வலிடு சார் வலிடு விசார் நான் சார் சார் வந்துட்டாரா?
வந்துட்டாங்க சார் வந்துட்டாங்க சார்
ம் வீடியோ வரலையே.
வீடியோ ஆஃப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க சார், ஆன் பண்ணுவாங்க.
நம்ம ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்கிறப்பா செல்வகுமார் மேடம் தானே?
சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாமா? விசார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம்.
ரிஜிஸ்டர் வந்தாலும் பாருங்க சார்.
ரீஷா இருக்காது, விசார் தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடலாம்.
ரிஜிஸ்டர்
ஆ
ரிஜிஸ்டர்
ரீஷா வந்துட்டார், அவர் தான்
ஹெச்ஓடிஸ் எல்லாரும் வந்தாங்க.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க நீங்கள்.
ரிசோர்ஸ் பர்சன்
ஆனி சார்.
பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. கொஞ்சம் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க.
ஆனி சார்.
அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க.
அவங்க பேர் ஆனி சார். ஆனி சார்.
மணிஷா வர மாட்டார், மணிஷா வர மாட்டார். சார் விசார் தான் ரெடிக்கா ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
ரிசோர்ஸ் பர்சன் அவங்க மெதுவாக
அவங்க தமிழ் தட்டி தானே அவங்க.
கணேசன் சார்.
கணேசன் சார் வந்துருக்காங்க.
கணேஷ் சார் வந்துட்டார். நீங்கள் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்கள், யாராவது வரலாம் பரவாயில்ல. சார் விசார் கேட்டு ரெடியாகிட்டா ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம்.
ஓகே சார்.
ராமகிருஷ்ணன் சார் வந்த மாதிரி இல்லையே.
நீங்கள் ஆரம்பிச்சு போயிட்டுருங்க, வரதை பார்த்துக்குங்க.
வரல.
அந்த ஆர்டரை பார்த்துக்கோமா. சௌந்தரராஜ் சார் வந்தாருனாக்கா பேசிட்டோம் போலீஸ் ஸ்டேஷனில்.
சார் சிஸ்டம் கிட்ட உட்காந்து நான் பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது கொஞ்சம் அட்மிட் கொடுத்துட்டே இருக்கேன். கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கேன். ராமகிருஷ்ணன் சார் வந்தாருன்னா
சரி நான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. டென்ஷன்
நான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
ஒயர் இங்கே கொடுத்துருக்காங்க கனெக்ஷன். பாலா ஒயர் இங்கே கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இல்லை மேலே இருக்கு, அங்கே எடுத்துக்க கொடுத்துட்டேன். ஸ்டார்ட் விசார் விட்டாங்க, ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. செட் சர்டிஃபிகேட். ஏம்மா சார்ட்டை கேளுங்கம்மா. இல்லைம்மா சார்ட்டை ஏம்மா விசி சார் விட்டாங்க. விசி சார் விட்டாங்க.
சர்டிஃபிகேட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி. சரி.
எங்களுக்கு வாய்ஸ் கேட்குறாங்களா?
சார் எதுவும் வரலையே, வீடியோ வரலையே. வி சார் வந்துட்டேன்.
ஆன் பண்ணலாம்.
சார் குட் மார்னிங் சார். இது அட்மிட்.
நல்லா நீங்கள் அட்மிட் கொடுத்துட்டே இருங்க.
இல்லை எனக்கு வாய்ஸுங்க.
ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
இதாங்க
மொத்தமாக இவ்வளோ நேரத்தில் வந்துட்டுருக்காங்க.
ம்
மொத்தமாக இவ்வளோ நேரத்தில் வந்துட்டுருக்காங்க.
குட் மார்னிங் சார்.
அட்மிட் மட்டும் கொடுத்துருங்க சார். அட்மிட் ஆக கொடுத்துட்டு கீழே அட்மிட் ஆகணும் சார். விவோ கொடுத்துட்டு கீழே அட்மிட் ஆக கொடுத்துட்டீங்கன்னா தான் வரும். அட்மிட் பண்ணிடுறேன் சார்.
மீட்டிங் Thank you, madam. Good morning to all. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to welcome our most respected and honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Panjanathan sir, for this 3-day international webinar on mental well-being of teachers, organized by the Faculty Development Center of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University under the aegis of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Government of India. Because of our Honorable Vice Chancellor's support, encouragement and appreciation, we could be able to organize more number of programs during this pandemic period. On behalf of the organizing committee, I wholeheartedly welcome our most respected Honorable Vice Chancellor sir. I also utilize this platform to welcome our most respected Registrar, Professor V. Balakrishnan sir, for his moral support and encouragement to organize this 3-day international webinar. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome our most respected Registrar sir. I take this opportunity to welcome my colleagues, Professor M. Soundararajan, Head, Department of Value Education, Professor P. Ganeshan, Head, Department of Pedagogical Sciences, Professor N. Ramakrishnan, Member Syndicate and Head, Department of Educational Technology, and Professor S. Mani, Head, Department of Educational Planning and Urbanization, and Thiru K. Kaviyarsan sir, Finance Officer, for their moral support and help to organize this 3-day international webinar. I also welcome the organizing secretaries and joint secretaries of this 3-day international webinar, Mr. S. Balamurugan, Dr. V. Vasudevan, Dr. T. Sivasathi Rajamal, Dr. P. Lakshmi Shanmugam, Dr. George Stephen, Dr. K. Ratiswari, Dr. U. Pandian, Dr. K. Vijaya, Dr. T. P. Saravanan, and all the teaching and non-teaching faculties of this university for their moral support and help and their strenuous effort to organize this 3-day international webinar. I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. T. Sivasathi Rajamal and Mr. Rajkumar from Tyagaraja College of Perceptas, Madurai, for their hard work to execute the international webinar. I welcome and extend my thanks to the highly resourceful resource person, Dr. Anisha Muhammad Ali, London, United Kingdom, Dr. R. Selvakumari from MS Challamuthu Trust and Research Foundation, Madurai, and Dr. Ravi Govindraj from Qatar for accepting our invitation and sparing their valuable time and to share their expertise on the 3-day international webinar. Last but not least, I welcome all the participants from all over the country to take part in this 3-day international webinar. On behalf of the organizing committee, I once again welcome you all for this 3-day international webinar on mental well-being of teachers. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. We feel honored to have with us our respected Registrar of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, who imbibes the values that he has learned and gained throughout his years of teaching experience, and well-known personality in the academic for his sincerity and dedication. I cordially invite our co-patron, the most respected Professor V. Balakrishnan, Registrar, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, to deliver the presidential address. Sir, please.
போன தடவை சார்
Dear participants, please mute yourself. Please, all are mute yourself, please.
சொல்லிடுங்க. வரலனாக்கா உடனே ஆக்குது.
சொல்லிடலாம். அதுக்கப்புறம் வரலன்னா இன்னொரு
இல்லை சார், நான் அதுக்காகவே நான் நிப்பாட்டி வச்சுருக்கேன் அட்மிட் கொடுக்காம. ஏன்னா இன்னும் 10 இது தான் இருக்குது உள்ள. கரெக்டாக இருக்கலாம்.
அடுத்தது முடித்த உடனே சவுந்தரராஜன் வந்தால் பாருங்கள், வரலன்னா அடுத்த கணேசன்.
ஆளுக்கு 2 நிமிஷம் அவங்க வரலன்னா இன்னொரு நெக்ஸ்ட்
அப்போ நான் நேம் வாசிக்கிறவா?
ஒன் பை ஒன்று அந்த ஆர்டர் பார்த்து வாசிருங்க.
சவுந்தரராஜன் வந்தாருன்னு பாருங்கள்.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் டைம்.
வரலனாக்கா அடுத்த கணேசன் கூப்பிடுங்க. கணேசன் இருக்கிறாரு. கணேசன் வந்து ராமகிருஷ்ணன் வந்தால் பாருங்கள். வரலனாக்கா பிசி சார், மணி சார் இல்லை, மணி சார் கூப்பிடுங்க.
ஃபோன் பண்ணி கேட்கவா சார் அவங்க? அவங்க எடுக்கலை சார் எடுக்கலை. கால் பண்ணால் எனக்கு கட் ஆகிடுது.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Sometimes you will never know the value of your movement until it becomes a memory. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Professor M. Soundararajan, Professor and Head, Department of Value Education, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, to deliver the felicitation address. Please, sir. Sir, Professor Soundararajan, sir.
இருக்காரா? லைன் இருக்காரா? இல்லை இல்லையா? நெக்ஸ்ட் போங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் போங்க.
The fragrance of flowers spread only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of your person spreads in all directions. I am very delighted to welcome Professor B. Ganeshan, Professor and Head, Department of Pedagogical Sciences, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, to deliver the felicitation address. Please, sir. Sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. வாங்க சார். ஓகே சார். Thank you, sir, for your gracious words. Thank you, sir, for your gracious words. Thank you, sir. Sir, sir, enter it again. So,
ஆர் ஆர் ராமகிருஷ்ணன்.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir will come, sir. Professor Ramkrishnan, sir. Sir, Ramkrishnan, sir.
வந்துட்டாரா?
இல்லை என்ட்ரு ஆகிட்டு இருக்கேன்னு சொன்னாங்க சார்.
அடுத்த ஆரம்பி நீங்கள் அப்புறம் நான் பேசிக்கிட்டேன்.
அடுத்து அவரும் ஒருத்தர் தான் இருக்காரு.
அவர் ஒருத்தர் தான் சார்.
கேளுங்க வந்தாலும் கேளுங்க, இல்லாட்டா அப்புறம் வீசார் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
கால் பண்ணால் இதை கட் ஆகிடும் சார் உங்கள் ஃபோன்.
தெரியாது அதில்.
வணங்கி கூட
எனக்கே கட்டாயிச்சு போகிறாங்க.
சார் நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் யூ. சொல்லுங்கள் நீங்கள் சார் சொல்லுங்கள். அப்புறம் வேணா ராமகிருஷ்ணன் போய் பேசிட்டோம். சார் பேசுகிற போய் பேசுகிறேன்.
ஓகே.
ப்ளீஸ் சார் பேசுகிறேன்.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார்.
நீ ஆரம்பிமா.
We are indeed privileged to have an eminent person, our chief guest today. May I kindly request Dr. D.P. Saravanan, Assistant Professor, Department of Educational Planning and Administration, Tamil Nadu Educational University, to welcome and introduce our guest of honor. Please, sir.
சரவணன் இருக்காரா? சரவணன்.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am.
மேடம்.
வேணாம்.
Yes, sir, yes.
சரவணன். சரவணன் இல்லையா?
வேணாம் சார்.
வேணும்.
Okay, sir, okay, sir. Sir, sir, please, sir, 1 minute. Sir, Dr. Saravanan, sir.
இருக்காரு.
Sir, please, sir. Please, 1 minute, sir, please, sir. Teamwork wins, therefore the team wins. The success of teamwork and the team depends on the captaincy. Captaincy is not doing all the works all by himself and allowing the subordinates to sleep and enjoy. Rather, it is assuming the overall responsibility and helping them carry out their duties and the responsibilities in their own best style with cheers and smiles. It is a joy and privilege to work under a cool captain, a smiling captain, a welcoming captain and an encouraging captain. Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University is always privileged to have such a cool, smiling, welcoming and an encouraging captain, Professor N. Panjanathan, the most honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, Chennai. Our honorable Vice Chancellor who strives tirelessly to escalate our university into an excellent one in all spheres. Highly intellectual person, very humoristic and humanistic person. He follows the Gandhian principle of 3 H's, head, hand and heart, and makes everyone pragmatic. It is privilege to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University to deliver the inaugural address. Please, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, Ramakrishna sir வந்துட்டாங்க.
Sir, yeah. What of thanks, sir? What of thanks, sir? What of thanks, everything.
வாசு ஆனால் பாலா
சரவணன் கேளுங்களேன், இன்னொருத்த பேசுகிறேன்னு கேளுங்களேன். பேச முடியுமா? ஓட்ட தேங்க்ஸ் கேளுங்க, இல்லாட்டா வேணாம். சரி
சரி.
சரி, இதுக்கப்புறமா ப்ரொஃபஸர் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் சார் சார் இதுக்கப்புறமா ப்ரொஃபஸர் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் சார் கூப்பிட்றேன். ப்ரொஃபஸர் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் சார்
வந்துட்டாரா?
வந்துட்டாங்க.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your insightful thoughts. Inspiring comes from within yourself. One has to be positive. When you are positive, good things happen. Deep proud. I am very glad to invite Professor N. Ramakrishnan, Member Syndicate, Professor and Head Department of Educational Technology, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, to deliver the felicitation address. Please, sir.
Suresh Kumar.
Sir. Ondore sir, practical active sir, ಇಲ್ಲ program active sir,
ಇದು ಸುರೇಶ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾರು ಅದು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Good title. Nice.
யாருப்பா நான் ஸ்க்ரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணுறது?
இது பண்ணால் தான் அவன் தான் எடுக்கணும்.
இங்கே இல்லையே பாலா, சுரேஷ்குமார்னு தமிழில் இல்லையே இந்த நேம்.
Thank you.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Bala sir, I am audible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your insightful thoughts, sir. Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the healthiest of all emotions. This is the best time for gratitude. I welcome Mr. S. Balamurugan, Assistant Professor, Department of Educational Psychology, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, to deliver the vote of praise. Please, sir.
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Very good morning to all. It's my pleasure and privilege to propose vote of thanks for a wonderful program organized by DC under the scheme of Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. First and foremost, I thank the Almighty for making everything successful and as planned. Next, I extend my hearty thanks to the patron and chief guest of this inaugural function of this webinar, the young and energetic dynamic person who is the driving force of the university. He is the man behind all the efforts for development of this budding Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, for his wonderful inaugural address with encouraging words to all participants, plus all faculty members who always come forward to work such programs for the welfare of the students as well for the development of this university. Thank you, sir. And I thank co-captain, most respected Professor Balakrishnan sir, Registrar of Tamil Teacher Education University, for his presiding over this program as well, delivering the presidential address with encouraging words. Thank you, sir. And I thank the most respected, and he is the man behind all these programs to come as a dream come true. He is none other than the director of Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya and coordinator of DC, Department of Government, Tamil Nadu Teacher University, Professor Govinda, Dean of Faculty and the Controller of Examination, IC, for his wonderful efforts for making everything possible and working round the clock for the success of this NDC program. Thank you, sir. And I thank all the organizing secretaries, Professor Soundarajan sir and Professor P. Ganesan sir, Dr. Department of Pedagogical Sciences, for his wonderful felicitation and encouraging words to go forward and march with more programs in upcoming days. And I thank Professor Ramakrishna, members in the Head of Department of Education Psychology, for his wonderful felicitation and kind words for motivating us, and Professor S. Mani, Head of Department Education Planning and Administration, for his wonderful support. And I thank our finance officer, G. Kaviyarasan, for his support in all the way, all financial support. And I thank all the organizing joint secretaries, Dr. Vasudevan, Dr. Sri Rajman. She was the host of this program, making more efforts for such a nice programs. Dr. P. Lakshmi Sundram, Dr. John Stephen, Dr. K. Ratishwari, Dr. Pandian, Dr. Vijaya, Dr. T. B. Saman, and other faculty members who are supporting us indirectly. And I thank all the experts who are going to share their expertise with participants as well as teaching faculty for these 3 days. And I thank all the participants who joined with us and tuned with us for these 3 days from across the nation. So once again I thank all the participants and the entire team for the success of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
We
We
are
are
indeed
indeed
privileged
privileged
to
to
have
have
an
an
eminent
eminent
resource
resource
person
person
today.
today.
May
May
kindly
kindly
request
request
Mr. S.
Mr. S.
Balamurugan,
Balamurugan,
Assistant
Assistant
Professor,
Professor,
Department of
Department of
Education
Education
Psychology,
Psychology,
Tamil Nadu Teachers University, to introduce our today's resource person. Please, sir.
Tamil.
Uh, it's my pleasure, privilege again, introducing such a great, renowned psychiatrist for this program as the guest speaker, all the way from London, UK, who's none other than Dr. Anisha Mohammed Ali. She is a well-renowned and well-known psychiatrist for practicing more than 16 years of experience. He is well-versed dealing with family issues, students' issues, career development advisors for the teaching community as well as the students. She also rich experience to handling the problems like mental stress, depression, anxiety, borderline personality disorders, compulsive disorders, and drug addiction. She is well known for his other skillful work of in the field of education as a psychiatrist. She's skillfully merging spirituality and cultural beliefs into psychotherapy to cure and healing the clients who are approaching the renowned psychologist come counselor. She was successful with a very high rate of recovery from the issues of mental health and psychological disorders. Such a nice person. She was well known for his special lectures in the universities and other school of educational institutions, delivering and sharing her expertise with the teaching community as well as the future students for building the nation as well as building the globe. So, such a nice and renowned person today with us. So, we are lucky to share and we deliberate with our questions and doubts regarding this mental health and mental hygiene for getting more awareness regarding the teaching community, why it is much required, and the topic of mental configuration and its protection for the teachers. So it's my pleasure, and once again welcome today's guest speaker, Dr. Anisha Mohammed Ali, for a wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Okay. Okay. நீங்க சொல்லுங்க.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Do I start?
Dr. Adisa, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are visible, ma'am. Yes.
பேசுறாங்களா? நான் பேசணுமா? ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. நீ சொல்லுங்க, நான் பேசுகிறேங்க. நீ சொல்லுங்க.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Please, ma'am, please. 1 minute, please.
Madam, good morning. This is Govindan, director of this workshop. We wholeheartedly welcome you on behalf of the organizing team as well as Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University for this 3-day international webinar, madam. Thank you. All the best, madam. Welcome, madam.
Play.
And let's go into what today we are going to present is mind configuration and protection for the teachers. I'm not quite sure if anyone ever heard about configuration of the mind. This is not the first topic I'm presenting for the teachers in Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University. And I don't think this will be the last. So I have started to actually get you into some kind of an introduction to what the concepts of mind. And people might think, what is the reason that we have to even know about our mind? Only that's the way you can know yourself. I always have this popular example of you going to a Guruji and a Guru asking you who you are. Who are you? And I say, I'm Anisa. They would say, that's your name. Who are you? And I'm like a bit confused and I'm saying, okay, I'm a psychiatrist. And the Guruji replies, well, that's your profession. Isn't it your occupation? So who are you? I start to actually think, okay, what exactly this Guruji wants me to answer? And then I'm saying, well, I'm a daughter of so-and-so. And then the Guruji says, no, that's your parents. So who are you? And at the end, nobody tells you the answer who you are. So if I go to the Guruji and say, well, I think I am Oasis 3456 version, say version 1.5 updated to 3.2, and they might be thinking, that's the right answer. And you think, what? How could that be a right answer? Because they believe that at last I have found the answer, what I am. So what it is, what am I even talking about? Who are you? So this is exactly what it is. What it is, our mind, is what we are. Most of our concepts, most of what we are is our mind. That tells who we are. The creation of mind is such that it is unique to everyone. Like our fingertips, we have what is called as fingerprints. All our fingers look the same. But when we make a print, the imprints are very unique to every person. In the same fashion, our mind, it all looks the same, but it is very unique to every single individual. It has an imprint that one person's brain is not equal to the billions of people around in the world. What do we call this setup as? A kind of a matrix or kind of a configuration of the mind. And that's called as the mind configuration. It's also called as the mental configuration. We either say mind or mental. It's kind of a word that you can use either way. So what it is, every day we seem to be having a lot of tablets. It could be starting from vitamin tablets, or it could be something to help your bones, or it could be something to do with your sugar levels, your diabetes, or to help with your heart, to help with your cholesterol, or it could be anything. But could these alone protect someone? When I say mind, what is the reason I talked about protection? Mind is something like a treasure. If this is what defines a human being, it is like a treasure. What would you do to a treasure? You would first protect the treasure. And then you will then polish it. Say if it is a kind of a nice thing, then you polish it and you make it better. You make use of it in a nice way. Some say mind is like a temple. Mind is like a house, and it needs first protection. The first thing it needs is protection. The second is, constitution or reconstitution. And the third is the health, mind health, the cure, the healing, the health of it. The fourth is the excellence. And the fifth is the dominance or the sovereign. The mind has a capacity that more than these tablets do have.
Ma'am, your mic is off.
Dr. Anisa ma'am.
Someone has muted their mic, please.
Dr. Anisa ma'am, please unmute your mic.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please share the screen, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Is my screen shared now?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So we are going to look at what causes individual variation. What is the reason that tablets alone don't protect? How is that mind has more capacity and control over tablets or even within ourselves? What causes that individual variation? How come for someone with the diabetes, they need more medication, with another one, they need less medication? What really happens? If mind is what defines a human being, defines a person, defines the whole constitution of a person, so how is this mind formed? Sometimes we have to know ourselves. That's the reason many people ask when you go anywhere, who are you? Do you know, first of all, who you are? That's the foremost foundation, to know what we are. What is our strength? What is our limitation? What is easy for us? What is difficult for us? These are the things that one should know about ourselves so that we will be able to improve, help ourselves, and help others. So, if I say, what is the reason? What is that one thing that makes ourselves? Everyone knows this. This is the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. It contains the genetic code of every human being. This contains the genetic code of every human being. So we will say, well, actually, every human being is formed according to our genetic code, how the genetic code is formed. In that case, now we are talking about, I said a mind is an imprint, like a fingerprint. It all looks the same, but everybody is different. And if we are looking into genetics, and we have a different genetic code for everyone, well, what about monozygotic twins? The twins born in the same pregnancy are the same fertilization. They look alike, they do everything. Do they share the same genetic code? Or maybe not? What else could explain? What else could explain the individual variation other than these genes? What else could explain? And many people know we all are born and brought up in different ways. We are born and brought up in different ways, but say we are having a kind of a two children in the same house. The mother, the father, the family is doing the same. Will they do the same thing? For example, if you get the two twins in two different rooms and give them a different kind of experiences, sometimes they may do the same thing. And that explains the commonality of all the human beings. And some of the times they will do things completely different. And there it explains how every human being is different. This is called as epigenetics. It's a nature and nurture. So that explains that if you give the same problem, if you give the same situation to every human being, we all have different mechanisms of coping, different mechanisms to get over our problems. We have different ways of thinking. It is not necessarily one is right and the other is wrong. Because everyone, our imprints are different. And you cannot say one imprint is right and the other imprint is wrong. It is this imprint that makes us what we have to identify is if we are doing how our mind is functioning. So how it is functioning? If we know our mind, then we will know ourselves. We will be our best teachers. Where is mind? Now we are coming to where is mind. When I say mind, where is mind? People often touch their head. But when you touch your head, the head is a visible part. As you all know, the head is a visible part, it is physical. Okay, then you say, no, it is actually brain. A smart answer, when you say it's brain, is a smart answer because brain is inside. It is physical. It is physical. If I'm going to touch a part of a brain, okay, it will cause my thumb to move because it caused that part of the brain. If I touch another part of the brain, maybe my hand may throw off. You know, if a part of the brain is having trouble, another person has got stroke. So where is mind? If you touch the brain, you see there is some problem happening with the movements. Your seeing, your touch, your pain. Okay, but where is mind? What is mind? Mind is like your thoughts. The expression is thought. What I have written here is called as mind mapping. What it is thought. Thoughts represent your mind, what your thoughts are. Now, there is something called as basic thoughts, and as you develop on your thoughts, that's called as higher thinking and higher thought capacity. And that leads to what is called as planning. You start to plan things. And then what happens is you start to execute what you planned. And that's how we appraise our thinking. So where we start with protection, but we can raise our thinking into excellence and dominance in a particular field of our interest, particular area, what we want to do. And the capacity of the brain is nowhere near to anything in this world. It is zooming sky high. You could do anything. We have the capacity to do anything in this world. But the only thing is the brain configuration has to be in such a way that we modulate it correctly. We know ourselves and we have to, cross our control zones and reach higher potential and capacity. So this is brain. And I mean, this is mind now. Now comes something that we have to talk about. Brain is physical, but mind is metaphysical. It's metaphysical. It's not paraphysical, it is metaphysical, something that we cannot see, but we can appreciate. And then I'm thinking, where did we get this metaphysical nature from? Where did we get this metaphysical nature? Because just the body by itself doesn't explain a person. You see somebody is dead and you go there, the body is there. The brain is there, the head is there, he's got arms, legs, everything. The body is lying there, but the person is dead. So, what is that makes somebody alive? What is that metaphysical nature that we have got in ourselves? Could we call it as energy? So if we say that metaphysical thing is energy, where did we first get that energy from? The energy comes when we are in our mummy's tummies, in the womb, when the baby is in the womb. But how is the energy comes? What it is? What is the energy? The energy is the soul. The doctors, for a long time, they didn't know that there is something called a soul. They only believed in something else and used to just check that, which I will come to you later. But recently, nowadays, the doctors, the medical field is more interested in the soul because there are many people who are going to coma. And they want to find out when people are in coma, are they dead or are they alive? How to derive parameters. So we know when we are a child, when we are a baby, flesh, a lump of flesh, in the mommy's tummy, we know the soul comes in. And that is the energy. The minute the soul comes in, a lot of differentiation happens. And it are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'm able to
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, participants, please kindly mute your.
Dear participants, please mute all are mute yourself.
Some participants.
Please.
Please kindly mute your all the participants. I request you to kindly mute your audio. It will disturb the. Yeah. It will disturb the session. Please kindly cooperate.
Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Anisha, ma'am, please kindly proceed. Yes, ma'am.
Looking at what is energy? It's a soul. Now, soul, is it physical or metaphysical? It's metaphysical. And how do we know the baby? What happens when the baby gets the soul? What is the change that happens in us? What is the connection between the metaphysical source, the metaphysical mind? There should be some connection. It comes to the body. So what is the connection? What is that connecting force? What happens to the baby when the soul touches it? Until then, it's just a flesh. What happens? It's the heart. It's the heart. The baby's heart starts to beat. When the heartbeat happens, we know the baby is alive. After that, once the heartbeat has started and till the end of our life, the heartbeat continues. And when the heartbeat stops, we know a person is dead. And we now know once the soul gets out, the heartbeat stops. When the soul comes in, the heartbeat starts. When the soul gets out, the heartbeat stops. That's the connecting force. Like we read in physics, for anything to function, to move, to change from one state to another, we need a push. And we have this heartbeat as the force in our body to push all the cells. The so many cells are firing up from the brain cell to everything. So this heart is very important. And then we are looking at Does this heart have any metaphysical sense to it? It does. We say, oh, it pains in my heart. We say it's a heartbreaking news. I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel excited. I feel anxious. Where is all these emotions coming from? It is from the heart. And heart also has the metaphysical nature. And now we know the metaphysical quality of the human being comes from the soul. So we kind of say, you know, the soul comes in, goes into our body, the heart starts, the mind develops, and then at one point the body kind of, you know, it's getting old and the souls get out and the death comes. So we say, to God we belong and to him is our return. For those who believe in God. So that's the reason I have put a question mark. Some people may not believe in God. Some people may believe in God. There is a very close resemblance. You know, many people think, how come we need to take spirituality? I'm going to show what spirituality really is. But sometimes we think, what is the reason we have to look into spirituality? It is because the mind is metaphysical, our emotions are metaphysical, and the soul is metaphysical. And God in this world, we don't see him in our eyes. So he's kind of metaphysical. And the body is the only thing that we are able to see. So that's exactly what we say as something that is metaphysical, is something we have to appreciate and protect it as well. And it is protected, well protected inside our body. So is the reason we say sometimes, how do you know your mind? Do you know your mind as much as you know God? Or at least as much you know your soul? Or at least as much you know about yourself? So what exactly defines the mind is what we were talking about. The mind is the whole thing, the brain. The mind has set itself on the brain, and the expression of the mind is thoughts, planning, and execution. And of course, the five senses: seeing, hearing, touch, smelling, tasting. But what is the most important feature of the mind is planning, execution, thoughts. And that comes from the front part of your head, which is called as the frontal lobe. And as you would see that in the frontal lobe, that's the primary motor cortex area. I know it is all a bit of medical terms, but what it is this is the main function where we do something. The energy when the soul, you know, when we say we are high in our energy and we are able to think and we are able to do a lot of things, go and do physically a lot of things. It's because of the frontal part of the brain, the front part of the brain over here. So we are able to do everything because that controls our movements, the motor activity. And of course, the other parts for our hearing and seeing. But the frontal part is the most important, the major part of what we call as mind. To summarize, we say that mind is and thoughts. Thoughts are expression of mind, and mind is based on brain. And we said feelings, what we feel, are expression of our emotions, what we have. And those emotions are based on heart. And then we have our soul, where we call it a spiritual, where our values, beliefs, the moral, the complacence, everything comes from. And it has based itself in our body. With all together, we have our execution of thoughts, what we do, our behavior, and which has implications. And from there we derive our peace of mind. And there are other concepts called as concept of innateness, which I'm not going to go today. And then we are now going to go to a problem zone. We have to know when we are having troubles, we have to first know to identify where is it coming from. Is it physical? The teachers, they are, teaching a lot. They are having a physical stress. Say, for example, at the time of exam, you need to prepare a lot in the arrangement of the class, to the students, to, the papers, everything. There's so much to prepare. And then after that, for people to correct, or even, sometimes preparing a different kind of topics to students in different classes. It has a lot of physical health. It takes a toll on physical health, especially some people who have to travel long distances, who got children to care at home, who have to do both work at home and come back and, work in the colleges, universities. It's a lot more of physical problem. So is it your physical problem? You have to know whether is it physical, or is it the mind? Is it the heart? Some student said something to you or didn't behave to you, or some students' parents didn't behave well to you, or something happened between your peers, or even within your family, like your husband or your children. Somebody broke your heart. Somebody said something that hurt you, and that comes from heart. Like this naughty person or notorious person in my cartoon who says, "Oh, I had your heart, I broke it into two, I'm so sorry, I'm giving it back to you." That's so not nice. So, or is it coming from your mind? If you give to the experts, they will immediately look at this picture and say, this is something to do with mental health. Because this is something much stronger than the other two. This is much stronger because mental health doesn't get affected so quickly. The mind gets affected when there is a problem in the thought, but it is more defensive. It has more defense mechanism. It is more protected because it is deep within. Whereas the physical is, the body is just exposed. Anybody can easily hit us, but it's not so easy to hurt our mind. So, once this happens, it comes from a really strong thoughts or some of the physical or emotional activities happening again and again and again and again that has had a deep impact on the mind. And this comes from the soul, where you feel wakened. There is a feeling of vacancy that comes from the soul. The soul, we are tuned to delayed gratification. Since the time we are born, it takes about 9 to 10 months to come out and see the world. It takes about 14, 15 years of studying in the school to go into university. And it takes another few years of study to become into a professional of what we want. So anything we want in life is progressive, gradual, progressive way of achieving a success. It's not about immediate gratification. We are tuned, our soul is tuned in a way that we work hard, we are determined, we want to do what we want to do, and then we get a success, and that success is long lasting. And that comes from the soul. So we know when we have a problem, where is actually we have a problem. Now the good thing is, obviously, most problems happen at the level of a body, because that is easily available because it gets hurt quickly. Then it happens at the level of heart, because body is physical. Heart is physical, but it also has metaphysical character. And then the mind, which is more metaphysical, but it has a little bit of a physical quality of brain. And then the soul, which is absolutely purely metaphysical. We have to know this. And the good thing is, it's easy to treat what is in the body in most times, except there are a few exceptions. And then it is easy to treat what is in the heart, and it gets a little bit difficult to treat what is in the mind. But there we have found what's called a psychotherapy and other therapies, where we look into the metaphysical quality, and we have made a way to help out. And people, once the mind can able to configure and construct well, you will see it does miracles on its own. And then the spiritual, one can affect the other. Say for example, today you are having fever and severe cold fever. What is the reason you're calling to your university and saying, well, I'm not coming to teach today? What is the reason you're just at home? You're not able to do other activities. It's because even though your body is the problem at that time, it does affect your mind, your feelings and everything. You are not able to think, it affects your mind. Or say another example, you had a severe fight with your husband or your wife that day, and you have this mind, it just keeps coming to you. It keeps coming to you. And that day, you will see that you get more irritated and you feel more tired. Your body says, well, I'm actually more tired. I'm not able to do more work today. It's because the thing that got affected was your heart. And it is the same with the mind. When you start to feel depressed, you will see the energy level is the first thing to drop down. It will have its effect on the body because it has to say something is wrong with the mind. So how do we know where exactly the problem zone is? You start to feel tired, you feel pain, sleep, appetite. Sometimes you're very slow, sometimes you're overactive, fidgetiness, or palpitations, shaking, a lot of sweating, altered breathing. All of this are physical in nature. Feelings like sometimes you feel pain in the heart, you feel broken. Oh, I really feel broken, feeling irreparable. When things keep on happening and so many heartbreaks, you are having a lot of trouble, you don't know what to do, and then you think, well, and you come to a position where you're numb. You start becoming numb. And that's kind of the worst hit. Somebody's like numb to everything. Now you poke, you do anything, they're just numb. And it's very sad. And doubts. Doubts is something that comes from the heart. And it also comes from the mind. And what about mind? It's about mental tiredness. You can feel it. You're saturated for the day. You have thought enough, you have done enough, and you're saturated for the day. Even you're going to prepare something for the students to teach them, you sometimes feel it's just a bit too much. Maybe you didn't work a lot on that day, but you're saturated. And you just have to feel like, I need a break. And doubts, unhelpful thoughts, the focus, you can't focus, reduced concentration, inattention, anhedonia, less pleasure. When the mind gets affected, you will see this typical sign of anhedonia, where the mind does not feel pleasure in things that you used to feel happy in. Something that used to make you happy, say a joke. Now you're hearing a joke, it doesn't make you feel happy anymore. You sit in front of a soap, a drama, some kind of a comedy drama where you used to just sit and laugh. But now you're just sitting, but it doesn't feel like you can laugh. So that's what happens when there is anhedonia, and very typical of mind, especially for depression. Sometimes loss of memory, this is something the mind can play sometimes. When you lose focus and concentration, or you have other tensions, the mind will always make you lose things, where you kept what, where is what, and what did I tell you, where I kept this thing, I was holding this thing. And sometimes you will be holding the phone and searching for the phone, you will be holding a pen and you will be searching for the pen. These things come from the mind. And anxiety. And something called as perceptual misinterpretation, which I'm not going to go today into it, because those are very deep concepts of mind. So then coming to the soul, emptiness, when you feel empty, and self-reproaching, more of like you are talking about your soul, that it feels very empty, and you're scolding it. And instant gratification, which is opposite of delayed gratification, lowly desires, cut short, cutthroat mechanisms, and sometimes related to sleep. Sleep is basically, we have put in the physical, but the only thing that we know about soul is if the soul comes in, there is life. When the soul goes out, the person is dead. And the only thing in our life that mimics life and death is we living in the daytime and sleeping. While we are sleeping, lot of our mechanisms slow down. But the difference between sleeping and death is because the heart keeps beating. But there are a lot of mechanisms that slow down. Some of the things like the tracing of the brain may be very similar. So we know that it kind of similar, except that there is a heartbeat. So when we have a problem, when we say something, we say, okay, I need to really take a break. And then what we do, we watch a movie, fair enough, or we listen to music. And all we have to know is, this is different ways of we approaching our systems. And this helps at the level of emotions. When you're emotionally feeling something, you really need to help your emotions to feel yourself, to make yourself feel better. It's about emotions. When you watch a movie, the movie is not close to reality. There's nothing in the movie that's very close to reality. And when there is a music, a certain parts of the brain are being activated and certain chemicals are formed, which is not very much towards a reality. When there is a reality, it's a different kind of chemicals that are secreted. So it's not very close to reality, but you feel nice. That's all right. But it's not long lasting, but that's a good mechanism to just watch a movie and say, good. You can watch a movie with your children, watch a movie by yourself, and you feel good, nice. Play drums or listen to some drums if you like, no problem. But you have to know that is at the level of the emotions. You are helping yourself at the level of emotions. But sometimes you can have these emotions and you can raise it to the mind. How? Having a journal for yourself. This is particularly for teachers, to have something like a journal. It's for everyone, and it would help teachers very much because teachers are more prone to writing, teaching, so it's easy for them than anybody else who don't do all these things. But we have achieved others to have these journal, and once you have this journal for yourself, you know how helpful it is. It's something like a personal journal. What do you write? You can write anything. Anything. You feel nice about something today, write about it. You feel happy today, you can just write, I'm happy today. But when you write, I'm happy today, the happiness is emotion. But when you think a little bit, is there any reason I'm happy today? Is it something, the same thing if I do another day, will I be happy? Just give some thoughts to yourself. We are very important. Only if you take care of yourself, you will be able to take care of your dependents, your family, the world, your students, your class, your, organizing things. If you become unwell, what could you take care of? Now everybody will have to take care of somebody who's become unwell. We don't want to become unwell. We want to become well enough. We are the only person who know ourselves the best. Even our best friend won't know, except the Creator. So we are our teachers. We are our best friends to start with. We have to take care of ourselves so that we can be helpful to ourselves and others. And when the students see that we are cheerful, we are healthy, we have a very positive attitude, we know how to tackle things, you will see that will transfer on them. And you will see a kind of a reflection on them. That might have some change in the classrooms. So we can write incidents, good incidents, or even bad incidents, and what we could do differently next time, like a reflection, achievements, any losses, challenges, and then you could take it after a month and review what you think you could change. What is the reason? Sometimes you look into it, it makes you feel happy. Sometimes you look into it and it kind of feels you uncomfortable. What is uncomfortable about that? And then scheduling. This is a second technique, scheduling to be happy. If I tell somebody, you know what, every day or just at least 3 days a week, take a time out for yourself, out of the routine, and do something what makes you happy. And they say, can we take time out like that and make yourself feel happy? And I said, don't you go to your friends, call your friends, go out, and then you feel happy? It's not that you feel happy and you call your friend. You first call your friend, speak to them, and you feel happy. Start trying to be happy with yourself. If you're happy with yourself, you will see your students, your peers, your colleagues, everyone will be happy with yourself. But even if they are not, at least it protects your mind. It protects yourself. You are protected. You are happy in your zone. You feel comfortable in your own zone. So do something that makes you happy. Take 3 days a week, at least 40 minutes for your own self. And that's your time. Just you, yourself. And you can do anything. You can do an exercise one day. You can do some writing another day about yourself. But it's something to do with you. Just start doing it. Sometimes, as I say, these talks that you listen to me, and if it makes you feel good, again, it is emotional. It's emotional because it's making you feel good. For a time being, it makes you feel good, and that's emotional. But when you start to take down the notes and you start to think about it, you go home and you start to think about it, then that goes to your mind. And then you start to make it into a practice. It becomes a protection, a strength, and then that uprises your mind. That's where the change is, when you start to practice. And it's not necessary that you have to practice everything at the same time. You can just start with one activity and see how it goes for 2 to 3 weeks, and then start another activity. So we will go into the next level, which is the physical benefit. We talked about the emotions, we talked about the mind, now about the physical benefit. We all know what it is, it's walking. There's nothing better than walking that is easier. Walking is very easy, but for teachers, we tend to recommend walking preferably with individuals or group outside the school social circle, so that you're not engulfed with just one type of people, with just one group of thoughts, with the same school politics, with the same things, what is happening in the education. Your brain has a lot of parts which have to be stimulated. So it's good that you walk, you have a social circle outside your school social circles. And that's very important. And of course, what I call is meditation and focused breathing. Focused breathing also, although I have put it in the physical benefit, it could be spiritual because it definitely increases the energy level in your body when you do a focused breathing. I'm not going into the details because it's a class by itself, and some kind of a meditation. It definitely increases the energy that we have. It increases the concentration. It increases the focus that we could do, which I would recommend. It would sometimes, people think meditation takes a long time, but focused breathing, say 7 breaths, for an example, might start to take just 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Just for the starters, it might even take only 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. So it's something that you can try every day. And at the level of the spiritual benefits, now I'm going to tell you what exactly spirituality is. What is this? Everybody knows, your teachers, this is atom. Representation of energy configuration, the orbitals of an atom. And when I say what is this, we will all know it's the energy orbital plane, electromagnetic energies and other energies on the orbital planes of our universe. So what is the spiritual benefit? The spiritual benefit is from our atom, from the atom that is in every matter, that starts from our own body, from our own cells, to physical and metaphysical, to around the universe, how we are connected. Everything has energy. How are we going to tap in to that energy of our own soul? Can we make our energy orbitals? Now, how is that available to us? What are the activities that is healthy? Unfortunately, they have developed unhealthy habits that is unhelpful on a long term to tap in this energy, which is not what we are going to. We are seeing about the healthy forms. So one of the best way to tap in is some of the things that I've already said through our mind. And some, of course, focused breathing, meditations. And we have to know energy is just doing work, and it is there in kinetic, thermal, electrical, chemical, nuclear, various other forms, And this is what we see. And people often say, exposure energy from other bodies have an effect on us. That is the radiation from our mobile phones, from the screens, from things we do, there are so many things happening across us around the world. Everything has energy in it, and it can potentially affect us. That's the reason they say do not watch a mobile phone too long before you sleep, because that actually disturbs you from having a calm sleep. The good news is all these energy are basically from non-living things, whereas the energy that we have is a living energy. And then you might ask, oh, but animals also then do they have a living energy? Well, exactly not. How are we differentiated from the animals? Because we have the mind. We have the mind. In Tamil, they say it's pagutharivu in Tamil. The capacity of the mind, the mental capacity to differentiate between the benefits, the limitations, the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, the good and the evil. We have the mind that differentiates, the capacity, the mental capacity. That differentiates us from the rest of the creation, and that makes man superior to the rest of the energy in this world. So we could be far ahead of anything. Every single person has a potential. The potential is different, but every single person has a potential. So the combo, I'm going to just do a few bits now. And for example, the combo, the protection, doubt. Not many people speak about doubt, but doubt is one single thing that you should not give a lot of importance to in your life until and unless it is valid. But how do you know it is valid? It's easy to find out if it is valid. Most times it's not. Say, for example, a student is misbehaving. You don't know the circumstance. We all come in with a package. You do not know what is the package that particular student or a group of students are coming with. Or the peers, they say something and you think, oh, maybe this peer is following me up, or is she just talking with somebody about me and trying to gang up? Most occasions it's not. I'm not saying it's completely not. I know there may be politics happening, but most occasions it's not. Or even within a doubt with the family, and that's projecting onto your schoolwork or university work. Doubt about self. Can we do this or not? Are we really taking the class? This one is really new for me, this subject. Somehow, you got the job. Maybe you're a new person, you got the job. Will I be able to do this? This class is a very notorious students. They really don't listen. Would I be able to take the class in here? So many doubts. The doubts are most doubts, you have to say, well, they are just a doubt, and we shall give a benefit of doubt. If it is very strong, write it down and see what you could do about it. Most times when you give benefit of doubt, it works. Or rather if a student is troublesome, just calling a student and talking with them is helpful. And sometimes to know that we have limitations. The control what we have is large, but it has boundaries. We can't do everything. when we start to know that we can't do everything, sometimes when the students misbehave, or when the students think that you're not able to do the best for some students, it's always best to think, okay, fine, this is the limitation. We tried our best. And sleep as protection. We know sleep is very important for human being. We take sleep for granted. We just go to sleep 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, then rush to the schools. We keep, even if it is a school work, doing too much late at nights and getting up in the morning is basically not a healthy habit. But if you have no choice and you have to take, what you could do is naps. Take naps whenever possible, a small nap, if it won't disturb your night's sleep. Just 15-20 minutes. Or even closing your eyes for 5 minutes would help. Catch-up rest, I think many people do know what catch-up rest is. That is, you have worked the whole week, so on a Saturday, you sleep for a longer time. Or on Sunday, you sleep for a longer time. Because we say that, everybody needs 6 to 8 hours of continuous sleep. But if sometimes you think you're a person of 8 hours or 6 hours sleep, but you didn't catch up on all the sleep, then you can catch up on those sleeps during the weekends. Unless you have trained the mind to sleep less. And even people who have trained the mind to sleep less as 4 hours, they do have a nap in the afternoons. And of course, healthy sleep hygiene. What is healthy sleep hygiene? Healthy sleep hygiene is basically before you go to bed, try to brush your teeth, clean your tongue, wash your face, wash your hands, wash your legs, put a loose clothes on so that every cell can breathe. And healthy sleep habits. Obviously we have healthy sleep habits, like for example, knowing that, you have taken out the dirt from the bed, your bed is clean. As well, eating your food at least 2 hours before the sleep. If not 2 hours, at least give 40 minutes maximum. Not go to bed immediately after eating. Leave a gap, because that is good for your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. So these are healthy sleep habits. Now, I have talked about everything. Before we finish, I'm just going to talk about 2 defense mechanisms. What is defense mechanisms? I talked about treasure, I talked mind as a temple, I talked it as a house. Sometimes we have to protect it like a house. But say in a country, what is a defense? A defense is something they need. If something comes to attack, you have a protection. So what is that protection? So you're working hard, sometimes you're working past midnight and you're getting up early, and say for example, you're organizing such an event. What is that will help you if something goes wrong? And that's called as anticipation. You anticipate. You say, well, I'm doing this organization, 70% will respond like this, 30% will respond like this. You have an anticipation. So if you have 90% appreciation, you think, well, I thought 70%, you had 90%, which is good. But if you had 70% or 60%, it is not going to break you, or you're just going to learn more how to do the things next time better. So that is called as anticipation. And we say anticipation, the best thing is anticipate the difficult by managing the easy things. Things that are very easy, we could manage it. It has a very deep meaning. We can manage it just by managing the easy thing. Sometimes you can anticipate the difficult, but you can actually manage them. And the second thing, I don't know if you all can hear.
If one teacher cannot write all subjects, one teacher cannot teach all subjects, how can one student learn all subjects? Really?
I don't know if you heard him. He said, if one teacher cannot teach all the subjects, how can one student learn all the subjects? Which makes sense. But what we have to learn from him is, before this, he said, he was in a polytechnic. diploma institute, and it was they gave him a book of 200 pages to read for 6 months. He went to a library and he got a book, the origin, the source book of 1,000 pages, and he finished it off. And then he used to go to the professor and keep asking questions, because the professor had apparently not gone through the 1,000-page book. And so the professor told him, well, you don't even have to come to the class. I will give you attendance, but you shouldn't ask these questions. Now, the way he told it is basically he's saying that the students must develop higher capacity of studying, reading, and thinking, and putting that into practice, which is a good advice. But if he just says it with that, it looks so plain, and then he has to support the students. So he ends up with a humor, saying if a teacher can't teach all the subjects, how a student can, learn. He makes it more kind of humor, and humor is one of the best defense. If somebody says something to you, you make it more humorous. For example, once for the first time I had to speak to a lady from America, where for America, when it is day, we are having night, and when it is night there, we might have day, So one time she called me, it was like, I felt like a middle of the night, and then I spoke to her. The second time I spoke to her, I looked at her clearly and I said, hey, you're wearing glasses. And she told me, Anisa, I always wear glasses. And I was like, oh. Then I told her, do you know, even being a psychiatrist, if you wake me in the middle of the night, you know what happens? And the whole team started laughing. Everybody started laughing because you just kind of accepted. Oh, okay, I missed that. Once we had a medical doctor who was presenting a very important case, and he missed out on something which was picked up. And he immediately looked and said, oh, well, yes, that I missed it out. And then he used a humor. Can you believe what happened? And then everybody laughed and said, oh, okay, yes, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to know a few subjects. We also have limitations. It's okay not to know something. So it's, when a student comes and says something, it's okay to give that appreciation or tackle something by humor. When you tackle by humor, it relaxes. It makes them feel happy and makes us feel happy. And then we don't think about it. We just think about the humor. We don't think about what happened. So these are the couple of things that will help us. And thank you for the presentation. And thank you for the audience and the organizers. I'm really pleased. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, 4 questions only from participants, ma'am. Shall I read, ma'am?
Okay.
From Josie. How to overcome the negative effects of post-delivery depression on the child after birth?
Okay, I have to say sometimes we have to know, we call it as postnatal blues. After the childbirth, for about
நான் அங்கே உட்காந்துருந்தேன், அந்த பில்டிங்கில் உட்காந்துருந்தேன். கட் ஆயிடுச்சு பேப்பர் பென்சில் அங்கே என்னோட கட் ஆயிடுச்சு. இது வந்து அப்புறம் வேகமாக இங்கே வந்து இவங்களோட இங்கே நம்ம வீட்டில் இருந்த
ஹலோ காது கேட்கணும்.
நீங்கள் பேசுறது பூரா யூடியூப் லைவ்ல கேட்கும்.
ஓ பேசுறது
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
கேட்குறேன்.
ma'am. Ma'am, from Meera Swami. Is it actually feasible to identify the problem zone in mind, mainly in case of psychological disorder?
And all the symptoms that we have, either it is depression or anxiety or neurosis or dissociation or fugue or dissociative amnesia, or you call it as dementia or psychosis like schizophrenia, everything comes from the mind.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
One more
it's easy to
question.
identify.
Okay, ma'am. One more question from same Meera Swami. Sometimes medical and IT aspirants get disheartened.
I can't.
Oh, okay. Sorry, ma'am. Sometimes medical and IT aspirants get disheartened. They take 3 or 4 years to achieve their desired goal, and it is process get back as compared to their batchmates. How to handle this?
What, can you repeat it? It is like what it is actually. From IT and medical field, they
Ma'am, sometimes medical and IT aspirants get disheartened. They take 3 or 4 years to achieve their desired goal, and to this process get back as compared to their batchmates.
It's
How
okay.
to handle this?
Okay, it's basically all right to, we have to know what is more important for us. And I said, for every one of us, our priorities are different. And our happiness, the happiness is different. For someone, they like blue color, another person like red color, another person like white color. You cannot go and say white color is, to a person who likes red color, you must stop liking white color. Because they like red color. It is something, the personal choice. And that's something you have to appreciate and respect. So, what is happiness for everyone is very different, and it is how they define their happiness as. For some people who want to achieve some goal, they will think, well, if there is not plan A, then there's plan B, plan C. I'm happy to become a doctor. If not, I will become an engineer, or I will become an accountant or a lawyer, or even within the medical field, what they want to become, and etc. But for some, they want to achieve it, and that is their soul happiness. And if they have taken some time to achieve, then it is all right. At the end of the day, you will find once we finish our universities and then we have our own life, our occupation, and our, family life, it doesn't make a huge difference at all who is on the top, who is on the bottom. It doesn't make a lot of difference. At this point, when we are studying, we think, oh, it makes a lot of difference. It's a very competitive world. After a few years, it doesn't make a difference who came out of the college first, who did what first. It's about our own ability.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is last question from Revati. How can one differentiate between a thought and an emotion? For example, if I am going through a fear of some kind, is it an emotion of present situation or more thought ariser out of futuristic projection of fear?
Fear is an emotion. Whenever we have a fear, the fear is emotion, and the fear is of different varieties. So what is that we are fearing is what matters, how much it could be affected by the mind. Heart, a heart is a connecting cord. So when there is a problem in an emotion, it kind of creates a turbulence across the body, from the brain to the feet, which has its effect on the mind and which can have its effect on your body. But necessarily it cannot become a mental disorder, because we really don't.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Gratitude is the healthiest of all emotions. I cordially invite Dr. P.N. Lakshmi Shanmugam, Assistant Professor, Department of Educational Psychology, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, to propose the vote of thanks. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you all. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, the most respected Registrar in charge, the most respected Controller of Examinations in charge, Dean of Faculty of Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, for conducting a 3-day webinar on mental well-being of teachers under a scheme of Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. Doctors have a critical roles in diagnosis, containment and treatment. Their increased personal risks are essential for each successful public. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Anisha Muhammad Ali, MBBS MRC Psych founder and CEO, Reviving Minds London, United Kingdom, for sharing important things under the title Mental Configuration and its Protection for the Teachers. He had shared many useful informations like soul as a spiritual one, mind is nothing but brain, thoughts are coming from mind, expression of mind is thoughts, and emotions and 5 senses. These emotions are metaphysical one. Heart is connecting head and hand. Emotions and feelings are coming from your heart. All these encourage or affect your body condition. And importance of healthy sleep and honor. Yes, it is a real thing, ma'am. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor has discussed many things. But we, the faculty members, are eagerly waiting for his humorous talk only. I would like to express my sincere thanks for your efforts and dedications for giving such an interesting and useful session, ma'am. I would like to express my appreciation for your inspiring presentation and your ability to present us as a memorable one. Hats off you, ma'am. I would like to express my sincere thanks wholeheartedly to all those participants who have attended in the session. We thank you for your participation. We thank you for your interaction and interest. We hope you can utilize this in your day-to-day life. We would like to thank the Director, Professor M. Govindan, Organizing Secretaries, Professor M. Soundararajan, Professor P. Ganesan, Professor N. Ramakrishnan, Professor S. Mani, Thiruji Kaviyarasan, Organizing Joint Secretaries Dr. V. Vasudevan, Dr. T. Shivashakti Rajamal, Dr. George Stephen, Dr. K. Ratishwari, Dr. U. Pandian, Dr. K. Vijaya, Dr. D.P. Saravanan, of Faculty Development Center, Tamil Nadu Teachers Education University, a scheme of Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
God knows.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Sir, next session time. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I just thank you very good, Sutam. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Shivasakti, madam.
Yes.
Dr. Shivasakti, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, what is the time for tomorrow's session and what is the topic also?
11 to 12:30, ma'am.
Okay. What is the topic, ma'am?
One minute, ma'am. 1 minute.
Ma'am, same mail ID, ma'am.
Yes, same. YouTube link only change. Google link same for 3 days. Same link.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Day 2.
Ma'am, what about the
Timing
afternoon
11
session?
to 12:30 tomorrow. Please join 10:45.
Okay.
Tomorrow topic mental health literacy for teachers. Dr.
What is it,
R.
ma'am?
Selvik, mental health literacy for teachers.
Okay. Who is the speaker, ma'am?
Dr. R. Selvi Kumari, consultant, clinical psychology, MS Chellamuthu Trust and Research Foundation,
Okay.
Agana Hospital, Madurai.
Okay. Thank you. We'll join tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Ma'am?
Ma'am, please put a feedback link, ma'am.
Yes.